Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Book It Better Wrestling Show. I am Max Whitman, your host. This is WWF 1994, and this is my radio voiceover voice. Giving us a test out, looking to see how this sounds coming through your radio. So pop those headphones on and get ready for the ride. We are post Survivor Series 1994, heading in to In Your House December. This is the Fallout show from Survivor Series 1994. We have a new World Heavyweight Champion. He is the youngest World Heavyweight Champion of all time. His name is Chris Jericho. And he is here tonight on Monday Night Raw to give his acceptance speech and give every one of you the opportunity to lay eyes on history. I like that. That sounds pretty good, actually. It's going to be impossible to keep that going all show, though. So that is my wrestling voice, folks. Welcome to Book It Better. I am Max Whitman. This is WWF 1994. The radio voice is gone. My real voice is back. Excited Max is here. We are post-Survivor Series 1994, and yes, indeed, as Radio Max says, Chris Jericho is here live tonight. He is here to give his acceptance speech. The Undertaker in the building as well. Let's jump right into it. We're going to start with a dark match here. Jump right into it. We get a dark match. Hayabusa versus Lance Storm. A couple of the younger, less used guys going at it here. Pulls a 51. It's a good, solid score. I hope you watched Survivor Series. Go back and watch Survivor Series if you haven't watched it. I'm sure you have. If you're here, I'm sure you have. If you've watched our creative meetings, I'm sure you have a general idea of why these two individuals are paired against each other. If you haven't watched our creative meeting, I won't blow it for you, but if you don't mind spoilers and you haven't watched that creative meeting, go back and watch it. Do yourself a favor. It's in the playlist. If you don't want to watch it, skip over that. But go check it out. But these two, they pull a 51. Not a bad score at all. Actually pretty solid. They both, a 47 and a 48. They both pull almost the exact same score. Let's move on and open up Monday Night Raw. It's just going to be a, it's a video recap. I don't know why there's no pictures here. Oh, probably because they're all off screen. So it's just it's a video recap, recapping Survivor Series last night. If you didn't watch Survivor Series, I'll go ahead and recap it for you now. We have a new WWF World Heavyweight Champion. He is the youngest WWF Champion in history up to this point. His name is Chris Jericho, and he defeats Bret Hart to win the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. Bret Hart, of course, has left the company. He has signed a contract with WCW. I'm actually going to shortlist him. I want to see how his debut goes. I'll definitely be checking out WCW, see how Bret's debut goes, see how they do with him. So, recapping there, we have Chris Jericho defeats Bret Hart to become the new World Wrestling Federation champion. What do we get? We got, do we have an intercut? No. The Royal Rumble #1 contender, The Undertaker, defeats the other three men. I'm trying to remember who it was now. Was Diesel, HBK, and Owen Hart. So, The Undertaker defeats Diesel, HBK, and Owen Hart in that fatal four-way after winning earlier. After winning a little bit earlier, he pins Shawn Michaels to win that match, and The Undertaker will go on to face the champion. Will it be Chris Jericho still holding the title at the Royal Rumble, or somebody else? We do have one pay-per-view in between, but The Undertaker will go on to face whoever the champion is at the Royal Rumble in the main event. We have new tag team champions. Yoko Crush win the tag team titles from Sid and Adam Bomb. And that's pretty much the main attractions from Survivor Series. So there you go. So that's what this video package is. Moving on to the next segment here, we're gonna start our show with the Nasty Boys versus Well Done. In a poor match, the Nasty Boys defeat Well Done when Brian Knobbs defeats Stephen Dunn by pinfall with a trip to Nastyville. So the Nasty Boys pick up a much-needed victory as their momentum is quickly trending in the downward direction. Sags and Knobs, they pull a 66 and a 65. Well done, a 43 and a 48. So not a terrible match. Good, solid opening match, mid-card tag team match, pulls a 65. Moving on, wow, okay, here we go. It's a freestyle segment, so here we go. Jericho comes out to the ring, and he's gloating. He's giving everybody their photo opportunities. He's talking about how he is the youngest world champion in history, and he proved last night by tapping out Bret the Hitman Hart. He tapped out the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, and says that good old Bret Hart better change that phrase and eliminate the best there is. It is now Bret the Hitman Hart, the best there was, and no longer the best there ever will be. So he's just Bret the best there was Hitman Hart, because Chris Jericho is now the best there is and the best there ever will be. The Undertaker, basically lights go out, lights pop back on, Undertaker's there, Jericho looks like he's crapping in his pants, and the Undertaker tells Chris Jericho to enjoy it now, because if he is still the champion by the time he makes it to the Royal Rumble, he will rest in peace. He will rest in peace, of course, if he makes it to the Royal Rumble. Jericho looks scared shitless, the lights go back off, they pop back on, and the Undertaker is gone. The Undertaker and Paul Bearer have great chemistry. Chris Jericho did a masterful job improvising. The segment deserved better announcing. Chris Jericho comes across well. It scores 100. It's my first 100-rated segment ever. Hoping for good things from these two. The Undertaker's just a workhorse, man. Everything he does, everything The Undertaker touches so far has been gold. All his matches have been great. All his promos have been great. Jericho came across really well here. I'm super happy with this one. It's basically, it's even better than I expected it to be. But we'll move on. We get another angle featuring Jerry Lawler and Tatanka. So basically, Jerry Lawler is saying that Tatanka didn't beat him last night. He didn't beat him. He cheated. And if you look at the footage, you'll see it just as well as anyone else. He cheated. He must have had something in his tights or something that caused him to win that match, because there's no way that Jerry the King Lawler would ever lose to somebody like Tatanka. Tatanka arrives, says he will never and has never cheated to win a match, and he will prove it again if Jerry really wants to go down that route. He is more than welcome to come and challenge him at any time. And to this, Jerry Lawler backs down and leaves the ring, still saying that Tatanka cheated. It scores a 69. Good, solid segment. It's a storyline kind of that I'm building a little bit. Kind of came out of nowhere, just a random exhibition match. Lawler and Tatanka had some good chemistry. They wrestled each other at Survivor Series. It was really just a filler match. I needed a match to fill some time. Turns out they got great chemistry working together. So put them in a little sort of a mini feud here and see what happens. And it gets a 69. Good, solid segment. Moving on, we get Razor Ramon versus Pierre. In a decent match, Razor Ramon defeats Pierre in 9:34 by pinfall with the fall-away slam. Razor Ramon and Pierre have great chemistry, and it showed in their performance. So just like Tatanka and Lawler, just a regular exhibition match, just trying to fill some time here, and we end up getting some decent chemistry here. I like Pierre. Pierre's like 26 years old. We used him very briefly early on in the first month of this save in a feud with Jacques Rougeau, who has since, I believe, left the company. And then Pierre's kind of been in the back burner here. I'm really trying, starting with this episode, I'm really trying to get my mid-carders some more time on the shows. Try and pair them with the main eventers. Get them working with some guys and start building the rest of that roster as opposed to just sending out the main eventers against each other. I really don't want to be current-day WWE where you see Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose fight each other 50 times before the pay-per-view. And you also find stuff like this in here. So, good solid match. It's an 82. Razor pulls an 89. Pierre a 59. Yeah, they got great chemistry. So, pulls an 82. Good solid match there. Moving on to our next segment here. I'll have to explain what's going on here because I do freestyle segments. We get another 100-rated show, though. Another 100-rated segment. I will read from my book here. I booked my TV out in a notebook. Actually, if you watched the developing, or rather, how I book my storyline tutorial, I do say that. I use, for pay-per-views, I use my planning sheet. But for TV, I like to book it in an actual notebook, because I can basically fit one episode to a page. And it's just easier for me to go back and find what I did the weeks before. Plus, I like it. It kind of gives me a little bit of a book, kind of a written history of the company. And I can fully write out the promos and all that. So I'll read you what's going on here. Diesel singles out HBK backstage, and he's going to challenge HBK for the Intercontinental Belt. He said he never beat him clean. He wants to challenge him. HBK says he has already beat Diesel once. Doesn't need to do this again. We've been down this road before. Diesel can go cry someplace else. He's not getting an Intercontinental title shot. Just at that time, Razor Ramon is walking past them back through Gorilla after his match. And he stops and adds that technically HBK did not beat either of them in a singles match without cheating. He did beat Razor Ramon, but he cheated in that match, and he never beat Diesel in a singles match. Diesel laughs at that, agrees with it, calls HBK a scrub, and both Diesel and Razor walk off laughing at HBK. HBK stands there stunned, looking angry and furious. So HBK is slighted by Diesel and Razor, turns down Diesel's request for a title match, and then is angry that he's called a scrub, which basically a little bit of a slap in the face there. So the camera going to go to a commercial with HBK standing looking angry with the belt. It scores 100, our second 100 rated segment of the day, which is awesome. I really want these storylines to be hot heading into the Royal Rumble. You'll find as this show goes on, not this show, the series goes on, Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view of the year. By far. It's not even close. I love the Royal Rumble, even more than I like Mania. So while in the game we are booking Mania to be the big show, you will see, I think, as the series goes on, the Rumble maybe even overtake. Although we got big things planned for King of the Ring, that's all a whole other story. But as of now, I really want Royal Rumble to be that's my baby. That's my pay-per-view. I love the Rumble. But anyway, I'm getting way ahead of myself. We score 100. Move on to the next segment here. This is our main event, and I'm glad. I was worried when I booked this main event. The Hart Foundation defeats Smoking Guns. Owen defeats Bart with the sharpshooter. Neidhart a 74. Owen pulls an 87. Both the Smoking Guns, both a 61. I was actually worried. I'm not going to lie. When I booked this as the main event, I wasn't sure it would pull a high enough score. Because you never know with the Smoking Guns. But they put on a great show. Owen carries it. And I'm actually pissed. There was supposed to be a segment after this match. Not a big deal. It was basically just the Hart Foundation gloating over their win. So imagine after this match, the Hart Foundation gloats a little bit over their win. They say they've beaten the Guns now. They mopped the floor with the dog pound last night at Survivor Series. Basically just that kind of stuff. So we're going to go to our end here. This is going to be a good show. This is going to, 88. This is our best show. So far, our highest rated show is an episode of Monday Night Raw following Survivor Series. I think what we're starting to see is our storylines are all really hot right now. We got a whole bunch of them over 80. Storylines are hot, and I think it's affecting the promo work and the in-ring work. Because it's really, you can see, the fan base is really invested in it. So it pulls an 88, it gets a B+, increases our popularity in 21 regions. Quick recap, we get the Survivor Series recap, the Nasty Boys defeat Well Done. Jericho glows, the Undertaker says if Jericho's still champion by Royal Rumble, he will rest in peace. King accuses Tatanka of cheating, Tatanka says never, offers to prove that once again, King backs down. Razor defeats Pierre, Diesel and Razor call HBK a scrub, HBK doesn't like that, and the new Hart Foundation defeats the Smoking Guns. Folks, thank you for joining me. Thank you for sitting down. I am Max Whitman, and I am Radio Max Whitman, and both of us are very thankful that you came by to check this out tonight. Don't forget, join us in one day's time well, not tomorrow, the day after that, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, join us for new episodes of Book It Better. We got new Impact Wrestling stuff coming up hopefully soon. I will ideally be sitting down with the man they call Kato Friday evening and getting a whole bunch of more Impact Wrestling stuff booked up and ready to go. I'll be bringing you guys some more Let's Learns, certainly some more creative meetings, and absolutely more WWF 1994. Thanks for stopping by. Check us out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on the Book It Better YouTube channel.